Hello everyone, I am Kers, this is Low Mana, and this is part 2 of my look into the lore behind the brand new arena maps. You can catch up my look into the lore behind Castillo now if you've not watched it yet, but for today I'll be diving into the detail behind Necropolis. While Castillo overlooks the centre of Dorado from its place on the hills surrounding the bay, Necropolis sits a few miles out in the sands of the Giza Plateau. Nevertheless, its parent map of the Temple of Anubis remains visible across the dunes. The skyscrapers that few people ever notice in the main map, standing tall and bright against the night sky, while the pyramid we all end up fighting over glows gently next to them. All told, this is an eerily peaceful map, a tomb situated in a rocky outcrop in a sea of sand, a fitting place to keep a silent vigil over the bustling city a short distance away. For that appears to be exactly the purpose that Necropolis now finds itself devoted to. Presumably following the events of Old Soldiers, this is where Ana and 76 relocated to. Though judging by the nature of the map, it seems a safe bet that Ana has been holed up here a lot longer. With the map name of Necropolis, this is an incredibly fitting location for two of the former leaders of Overwatch. The name Necropolis stems from ancient Greek and very literally translates to City of the Dead, and where better to find two legends that are presumed deceased by the majority of the world they live in. Even beyond this, the temple is adorned with Horus statues, a deity strongly tied to the beliefs and motivations of both Amari women. While the map sits some distance from the city, a couple of modes of transport for the trip between the two seem possible. Firstly, the flying ships that are so common around the city skies. It seems several of them journey farther out into the plateau as they buzz by through the night sky here. Far more likely though is the massive six-wheeled sandcrawler parked out on the dunes nearby. This is the same sandcrawler that we're used to spawning in on the attacking side of the Temple of Anubis, but its presence here raises some important questions. Firstly, is this a vehicle Ana has, or did she and Jack merely appropriate it after Old Soldiers? If it is hers, where has she been leaving it to remain incognito this whole time? You can't exactly park it next to a tree and hope nobody notices it. If they borrowed it, who did it belong to? And will they miss it? Will they come after it? The alternative possibility is that Ana and Jack did not use this vehicle to retreat to the Necropolis, and that the presence of it so close by indicates that they're going to have company very soon. Note that this last one isn't a theory I put great stock into, but if it does turn out to be true, who would be visiting them? The complex is made up of three separate buildings. One central chamber with an open roof dominates the middle of the map, with smaller chambers running off of it, while two smaller buildings stand separate on either side. One of these lies mostly empty, the only interesting feature the blocked-in doorway that hints at more rooms beyond. Its mirror image has a living resident however, one Jack Morrison. This is a man that travels light, with only a camp bed, Overwatch duffel bag. It has his name on, and yet few people have connected 76 to Morrison. It's a bit weird. His trusty pulse rifle, a dumbbell, and a crapload of biotic emitters. Makes sense given he doesn't ever seem to stay put in one place for too long, preferring to keep mobile on his quest to uncover the truth behind Overwatch's fall. There's also what looks to be spirits of some kind. Can't quite see him overdoing it though. Finally, there's an open newspaper. The only visible story referring to the global hacking spree that resulted in the fall of Lumerico, something I'm sure Jack has some interest in. At the rear of the largest chamber lies Ana's makeshift room, and even though she's likely spent quite some time operating out of these rooms, her bed remains a relatively make-do affair, probably designed by necessity and for relatively quick escape more than comfort. All we have is a mattress, pillow and blanket, but it's the items that surround these that are most interesting. By her pillow sits a single dart gun, and I'm making the assumption that this is for defence more than anything else. Given the other option is that she uses it as a rather extreme cure for insomnia, I certainly hope this is the case. On the bed itself sits the mini holo projector that we've got used to seeing in her protector remote, showing an image of a very young Pharah, a daughter who most of you know under her codename Pharah. Have to remember that Ana's primary motivation is to protect those that need it, and above all else, to protect her family. In the past, that extended to protecting Egypt, then her fellows in the Overwatch Shrike team, then to Overwatch as an organisation. Throughout that, and above all else, persisted her actual daughter, though that begs the question, with Pharah so close by under Helix's employment in the city, and with full knowledge of her mother's survival, have the two been meeting regularly? That would certainly add depth to Pharah, and potentially bring her into the story more. At the bottom of the bed sit three photos, and bring all of these aspects of Ana together. The first is of her and Pharah, a still from her origin story that shows the time they spent together in Pharah's youth, and how Ana trained her. The second also stems from her origin story, showing a small segment of her Overwatch family, the friends she had and those she lost, including the mysterious unnamed duo on either end that provoked so much discussion when the vid came out. The final photo is the only one to stem from a different source, and it's the iconic shot of the 3 Overwatch leaders in happier times, first seen at the end of Old Soldiers. While 2 of them now occupy these temples, the third is at the forefront of their minds and their investigations. This is shown most clearly in the largest chamber on the map, the central room of the Necropolis. Bathed in the desert moonlight, this room is full of equipment and trinkets that show Ana has almost made a home for herself here while she works under her Shrike alias. Crates of Overwatch supplies surround numerous workstations, though that begs the question how she appropriated them. 76 made headlines through his assaults on places like Watchpoint Grand Mesa to pick up his kit, but Ana's done it in utter silence. Her rifle and the second dart gun sit almost on display, next to what appears to be a bench kitted out to create more biotic darts, from the spare dart canisters through to the centrifuge. Becoming self-sufficient must have been a priority out here for her, and this demonstrates that neatly. On the flip side of the room is effectively what serves as Ana's kitchen, the only interesting part of which is her tea making station, set on a few breeze blocks and a pallet, complete with a pillow for her to sit on while she prepares it. It's a nice touch. Eclipsing all of this though is the last table, generator humming away to itself merrily underneath. On the left sits a laptop, streaming a live feed from the telescope on the roof above, pointing directly at the pyramid atop the Temple of Anubis. It seems Ana is ever watchful, and on occasion sits up there to observe directly, at least if the abandoned mug of tea is anything to go by. It is the other 2 monitors that are definitely of most interest, however. Both have only one subject, their former comrade, Gabriel Reyes, now known as Reaper. They're actively tracking him now, though whether they started doing this after Old Soldiers, or whether Ana was already on the case, is at the moment a mystery. The locations they have registered for him are certainly intriguing though, some more so than others. One appears certainly to be Gibraltar, which means Ana and 76 are very likely aware of Winston, Athena, and the work they've been doing there. Another is Numbani, and we can probably link this to the Doomfist Gauntlet that's been covered extensively already, so I'll leave that for now. The others warrant examination, however. The westernmost appears to be around Baja, California, in the north of Mexico. Reyes was born and raised in LA, but the marker looks too far south to line up there, and what reason would he have to return home anyway? The only possible link I can draw would be with his lurking in the shadows and reflections, staring at a family later confirmed to not just be some random, but that feels like a stretch, and I'm not sure it'd apply if it is Mexico anyway. Another lies in the Arabian Desert, potentially southern Iraq, northern Saudi Arabia. Southern Iraq would certainly line up with Oasis, but what reason would he have for visiting there? Mercy was last seen around this area during Winston's recall, and her environment and reflections certainly backs this up. Combined with the voice line Sombra and he share on Oasis regarding visiting an old friend, this would certainly suggest Mercy may be high up on his hit list. That's one to keep an eye on. The last is a complete mystery to me. It looks to be around Latvia or Lithuania, and to my knowledge I'm yet to see any Overwatch content whatsoever be set or even reference this part of Eastern Europe. I'd love your thoughts on all of these in the comments though. The final monitor, and where I'll leave you for today, is very, very clearly footage from Volskaya and Talon's attempt on the life of its CEO Katya. While the 2 camera shots are most likely a reuse of assets rather than a suggestion that Ana has access to Sombra's footage, what is undeniable is that she has some access to the security camera recordings in what must usually be a lockdown compound. So, her and 76 know Reyes, and almost certainly Widow, maybe Sombra as well, were involved here, and yet they didn't mark it as a sighting on their map. Why? Beyond this, how much detail do you think Ana and 76 have on Talon's mission in Russia, their intentions, and the outcome? This could well be one of the storylines that raises its head again very soon. Where can you guys see it going? Thanks for watching this tour of the lore behind Necropolis. Did you learn anything? Did I miss anything? What do you think Ana and 76's next move will be? As ever, there's a link to our Discord in the description below that you can join. Don't forget to hit that like button if you like this episode, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the little bell for notifications on our latest content. Until next time, I've been Kurz, thanks for watching.